Welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. Well, I watched Hollywood Stargirl last night, and you're probably wondering to yourself if you're listening to this, did you ever watch the first Stargirl? And the answer to that is no, I have not. I didn't know it was a sequel. I thought it was a reboot of sorts, and it does kind of work if you've never seen it before. If you've ever seen the first one, you can still kind of get what's going on. I get the general, thing of it. I think that part of the problem is I'm not a huge fan of the quote-unquote manic pixie dream girl kind of thing, which is, while she does have a considerable amount of autonomy in the story, the titular character named Stargirl, she does still kind of fit into a lot of the tropes that one would expect, the quirkiness, the different, like, oh, I don't have a cell phone, like, all this kind of stuff. It's kind of, like, annoying after a certain point, like, the annoying degree of individuality where it's like, alright, calm down, we get it, you're not like everyone else. I totally get what you're going for here. The movie's kind of cute, if a little, haphazard, per se, where it's like, I don't know if you look at the movie, I don't think that necessarily, like everything to do with actually making the movie feels quite so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, like the whole plot of the movie is that she moves to California with her mom, and her mom is kind of missing out on everything she's doing because she's trying to, she makes friends with a neighbor and they're trying to make a movie, and all that's great, and it's cool that they're doing that and trying to do all these cool things, but I think ultimately the problem with this movie is, like, it doesn't really pick any one thing to focus on, and it kind of just becomes this scattershot, like, mess, like a shotgun blast of a movie. Whereas, like, we're just going to try everything we could possibly do at once and hope for the best. Whereas, like, the movie subplot, there's a subplot about the aging former movie star who's fallen on hard times, who didn't quite hit her dream back in, when she was famous, and, now she has a new career and all of that, and it's like, Uma Thurman got sucked into playing that role, and she's great, but it's, the problem is, it's like, there's not enough there to really push the movie along and make it any one thing stand out as, like, the A plot of the movie, because, like, not even the relationship of the mother. They're all kind of things that are there to influence the plot as the movie goes along without really... Fuck me with this fucking thing. I have an empty propane tank in my back seat right now because I'm going to replace the propane tank. And I probably should have strapped in the empty one, but who gives a fuck? I'm sitting in the garage for 3 months. So I think that, like, that's ultimately a problem with the movie, where every little thread kind of isn't there to be its own full thread. It's there enough to inform the major events, but not have its own lasting thing. It's kind of like, you ever watch a TV show and you're like, well, if the camera's not there, the character kind of doesn't exist. It's like that kind of thing, where it's like, well, if it weren't for the fact that, if we don't see what's going on there, then the plot kind of stops, it seems, almost. And I feel like that's a problem. That's not a good way to tell a story, I don't think. I think you end up with a lot of boring, a lot of boring, fucking thing rolling over my back seat. You end up with a lot of boring subplots and other things like that don't quite mesh together and just feel like loose threads, but at the same time not loose threads because they don't quite go anywhere. Like, you can omit them, and the problem is, like, you can't omit any one of them because they're all integral to the story, but none are quite fleshed out enough where it works properly into making a full-formed, plot of a movie. And it's not like in a vignette kind of way where it's like, oh, okay, so it's little mini vignettes of different things that are happening here, or like it's not like it's Slacker or anything like that, where we have these, you know, mini moments that are designed to make up the whole, that are loosely connected at best. But it's kind of reminiscent of that in a way, where it's like it needs to be more fleshed out. We need to have more opportunity to, you know, to expand and move the story into something more substantial in a way. And I don't think any one plot line of this really does that. I watched the movie, and it's like, maybe had I watched the first Stargirl, which I intended to. I think it was a launch title on Disney Plus, and I think I intended to watch it, and I just didn't. No, it wasn't a launch title. Disney Plus launched in 2019. This came out in 2020. And this new one came out this weekend, and it's like, I didn't see anything about it. It didn't hit my radar because they don't really do that. But like, I would have liked to see more there. Maybe had I seen the first, maybe things would have felt a little cleaner, but it doesn't seem like it. And I feel like, you know, because like by the time we get to the conflict at the end between her and her mother over the departure from the and this is why there are so many actors on this fucking road. Her and her mother leaving, what's it called? By the time we get to her and her mother leaving California, or leaving Los Angeles to go to Berkeley, it's like, well, you gotta, it's different. It's a totally different kind of, you know, conflict that, like, you know, it's building, and there definitely is that conflict building between the two of them over the course of the movie, where it's like, you know, Stargirl doesn't feel, you know, like her mother is taking an interest in what she's doing or caring about what she's doing, and the mom is very focused on her own career, which is fair, to say the least. But I think that, you know, they need to do a little bit better with, you know, making it more, not explicit, but like making Stargirl react in a less understanding way, and then having it all blow up at the end, and it's like, well, she wasn't like this the entire movie up until this point. Like, that's kind of an issue I have with it. I don't think there's really anything else to add. I think I've gotten pretty much every point I wanted to hit, because it's kind of a short movie. It's like an hour 45, and it is, you know, it's not a terrible movie. And I'm sure people will get more out of it than I did. Watch it, it's like, fuck, I got nothing else to watch tonight, might as well. And maybe there's someone else will get more out of it than I did, but it is, you know, it's there. I mean, I would say this is a movie that, depending on, I feel like if you like the first one, you'll probably like this, because I think the first one has a very similar kind of vibe, if I remember the trailer correctly, where it's this girl, you know, it is, if you can put up with her vibe, you'll like it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Another short episode, 2 short episodes in 2 days. So we'll wrap up there for today. That's all I got for Hollywood Stargirl. Tomorrow morning we have The Time Traveler's Wife, and I know yesterday I said we'll talk about Parallels, but I got really into that show last night, after the first episode, and then I got through like 3 episodes, not intending to get through 3 episodes, and didn't go to sleep until 3 in the morning as a result. But it is surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. What the fuck is this person trying to do? It's just bizarre to me every time I see these fucking things. And we'll talk about that a little bit, probably tomorrow evening. So we'll wrap up there for today. And until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.